I called this video the must-read books for femme fatales. And this is because the books that I'm going to recommend you in this video are all kind of spicy. I read all of them and I can only say that they are all very, very good for you. If you are a woman who wants to embody confidence, seduction and an irresistible charm. But before I talk and you ask yourself, oh, what are these books? I will just start with the first one, and there are several ones, as I said, so stay until the end. But first, a disclaimer: if you consider yourself too lighthearted and don't want to read things that go a little bit in the manipulative direction, then I can recommend you some more lighthearted literature for feminine women, because I have already made a video about books that I recommend for classy ladies, and I will link this here and also down below, so that you can watch that one. For all the other ladies, stay with me. And if you're new here, I warmly welcome you to my channel. If you like feminine content, elegance and self-development, subscribe and click the notification bell. So we start with the first book, and I have it also as a hard copy. One of the older books that I have read. It's called How to Make Anyone Fall in Love with You by Lil Lowndes. And if you read a title like this, you might think, oh, that's like a clickbait title, or, well, it's just a title that should attract a lot of people, but this is just maybe not to be taken so seriously. Now let me tell you, this book, I have it already for maybe 15 or more years. And I was naive when I was younger, and I have used a few of those techniques on men, and they worked. I can only say that you should be careful with those techniques, because maybe you don't want specific people to fall in love with you and you just want to try something out. This should be taken seriously, because those techniques really work. So don't just try them for fun. You are dealing with real people, and that's why you should use everything with responsibility. Now, I guess you are very, very curious what is inside of this book. Actually, the techniques that are mentioned here, and the book says 85 proven techniques for success. So not all of them are, I didn't try, of course, all of them. I only tried a few, and that's really a long time ago. But I think that those tips are really good, and if you use them with responsibility, then they will be a big help for you and for your self-development. And this book is now really one of my favorite books with regards to feminine self-development, seduction, and, well, everything that has to do with interpersonal skills. So Lil Lowndes, the author of this book, is an expert in human communication. And she reveals the psychological secrets behind romantic attraction. And what this book does is it offers practical tips and techniques to boost your charm and appeal. Lowndes explains various strategies from mastering body language to creating unforgettable first impressions. And she refers to different kinds of things, gestures, behavior, etc. And if you look closer, you see that there are lots of post-its. And if a book that I read looks like this, it means that this book is extremely useful. And not all my books look like that. So this is kind of a very positive sign. I didn't look at it for over 10 years now. So this is all before 10 years. So this book is good for you whether you're looking for deepening a connection to someone or ignite a new romance. It is really your go-to guide to becoming irresistibly captivating. And Lil Lowndes is a great author, and she also has other books that I also have read. So if you enjoyed this one, or if you might be interested in another one, other books that I have also read, but I have them only as audiobooks, are Updating, How to Date Out of Your League, and How to Create Chemistry with Anyone. And if you are a shy person and it's not easy for you to talk, I can also recommend How to Talk to Anyone. So all those titles sound similar, and all of the books are good, but still this is my number one with regard to the actual techniques inside. Number two, the second book that I can recommend to you, Dear Femme Fatale or Dear Woman, is The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene. And this is maybe not a surprise because it's a very known book and I have also talked about it in other videos, and it's maybe not that controversial, but it is very, very useful, and it's maybe a book that is a little bit more of a classic. So it's a classic book about seduction. The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene delves into timeless strategies of seduction, drawing from historical examples. So it is also interesting for people who like history, who are interested in the life of historical figures such as Casanova, Cleopatra. So it is very well researched, and it also offers a lot of psychological insights. Greene identifies different seduction archetypes, which is super interesting because those seduction or seductive archetypes are often used within our feminine niche. Maybe you have heard of the siren. The siren is also used as a female archetype, but it is actually one of the seduction archetypes in Robert Greene's book. Then there is also the rake for the male, but there are also a couple of more archetypes, and Robert Greene also has, of course, historical examples for each archetype and how they acted. The book teaches you how to create an aura of allure, captivate your target, and maintain the power in relationships. So it is more, in contrast to the first book, this one is really more serious and is a must read for everyone who really wants to understand seduction and social dynamics. And seduction is here not only focused on the romantic field, although most of the examples, of course, are from the romantic field, but it is also about how to seduce a nation. For example, in the example of Eva Peron, known as Evita. And that's why I think that it's a really high-level book. So, I mean, it's not like something that you read in a day or in two. It's really a lot, but super interesting, and especially if you like biographies, for example, because it's so much also about the life and the stories and the relationships of those historical figures. Recommendation number 3. The Definitive Book of Body Language by Barbara Pease and Alan Pease. I have this as a hard copy, but I think that I have lent it to someone and I don't remember to whom. But I will find out. That's why I don't have it here now, but I will show you how it looks like. And I guess that the cover looks different now because I also have it for 15 plus years. It was also one of the first books that I have read, and definitely the first one about body language, but it really taught me so much. Understanding body language is crucial for a femme fatale and for any woman who wants to be able to seduce and wants this specific allure and the knowledge of people. So the Definitive Book of Body Language is the ultimate guide. And by the way, it looks very similar like this as this one, so it's full of post-its. I still remember that. The book breaks down all the nuances of non-verbal communication. Very, very important. I talk about that on my channel a lot, and it really teaches the reader how to read others' cues and how to project confidence and allure. So it starts with interpreting facial expressions to mastering seductive gestures. This book really equips you with all the skills that you need to communicate effectively and attractively. And this is what we want, right? That's why this book also made it on my list for the must-reads for femme fatales. We continue with tip number 4, and now it becomes very spicy and, well, maybe not spicy, it becomes very raw. So you know that on this channel it's all about elegance, about being classy. This book is not classy, okay? So all the books by this author are not classy, but still they are very useful. And they are kind of an eye-opener. I'm talking about G.L. Lambert. And the book that I'm going to recommend you here is Solving Single. G.L. Lambert has written several books, but I will first talk about that one because I think that this is kind of a good starting book. And it's not that controversial as the other ones. It is also quite blunt, but it offers really unapologetic advice for dating and self-worth, making it an essential read for those who want to navigate the dating world with confidence and clarity. So what Lambert does here, and by the way, this is a man, he challenges the reader to set high standards, to avoid common dating pitfalls, and to recognize their intrinsic value. This book empowers you to take control of your dating life and demand the respect and admiration that you deserve. Lambert has a very straightforward approach, and I think that it is very empowering, and not only empowering, I think it's even transformative. Though it's really not for the faint of heart. So if you are a woman who really needs like a certain level of classy language, you will not find it here. Lambert talks in a very raw way and sometimes even in a vulgar way. But what he has to say to us women, and especially because it is written by a man who really has our best interest in his mind, is worth gold. And the only thing is that the books by G.L. Lambert seem to focus a little bit more on the black girls community, but I think that no matter where you're from or what your ethnicity is, no matter your background, I think this book is for all women. So what you learn there is not necessarily, well, maybe it is a little bit focused on a specific cultural background, because of course it's talking about men and their behavior a lot, but I think you can take away the tips no matter what cultural or ethnical or whatever background you are coming from. So G.L. Lambert has, as I already said, other books too. Some of the titles, they are really too controversial and too provocative. But if you're interested in it, and if you read this book and you liked it, you can just research it. It's all on Amazon. And by the way, I will link all the books down below. You can find them in my Amazon favorites. So just check the other ones. And let me tell you that you should not judge a book by its cover. Because as I said, for a classy lady, those books might sound like something that she would never read. But if you also have a little bit of a femme fatale inside of you and you want to equip yourself with all the knowledge, you might also enjoy it. But you always have to read everything through a filter and only take away what is good for you. Because some of his books are also talking about a lot of manipulation. And maybe you are not in the position of your life where you necessarily need it. That's why I recommend Solving Single, which is more about relationships. Pick for you what appeals to you. For example, I have to say that not everything that he says, especially in the other books, appeals to me because I'm not this kind of person. But it is just good to know. It is just good to have this knowledge because it makes you more confident. It makes you more secure. And it really opens your eyes to also be strong and not let yourself be manipulated by any man, for example. And now I will continue with my recommendation number 5. And this is not that spicy, but I put it on the list because I think that it is an essential read for all women and also for femme fatales, because you will not able to be a femme fatale nor any other kind of woman that is confident and secure if you don't care for yourself. And self-care is a cornerstone for being a true femme fatale, for being a woman. The book covers various aspects of your life and of self-care, including setting boundaries, practicing mindfulness, developing resilience, and many things that I am talking about on my channel. And I think that all women should develop these skills and educate themselves on that. So the author's very compassionate and practical advice really helps to prioritize your needs and maintain a healthy, balanced life. I think it's an essential read for building inner strength and confidence, and this of course is the base for your seductive, confident and feminine allure. And I really use it as a resource because it has so many practical tips, as I said, and resources that it should belong to everyone's bookshelf or audio library. These were only 5 recommendations, but as I said, some of the authors have more books and the books are all very good. Go on Amazon, check the reviews, check out what appeals to you most, and if you find that another book by one of the authors appeals more to you, read that first. Or maybe you already know some of these books. Let me know down below in the comments, and also let me know if you have other recommendations of books that you consider savage or spicy, and write them down below. If this video was interesting for you, leave me a thumbs up and I will see you in my next one. Bye bye!